let's get to some more cat calls.
I just wanted to say that, can you imagine what a great situation the Panthers coaching staff is in to take care of a young quarterback with Caldwell, Reich.
Oh, we already heard this one, didn't we?
Josh McCown. I feel very comfortable with a rookie quarterback coming in here.
No,
being in the best hands he could possibly be in the entire NFL. It makes me also realize that we probably shouldn't be looking at somebody like Derek Carr.
Yeah,
we should take our lumps with Matt Corral and a rookie.
That was the last one we heard.
Yeah.
That's what we heard.
Okay.
Let's go to the next call, and then we need to talk about Josh McCown, our new quarterbacks coach, and his love for CJ Stroud. The number's 252-228-5098. Be cooler than Tony, who plays the same call twice. Call into our show once tonight. Let us know how you think.
Hey, guys. It's the girl that makes him howl again, a.k.a. Joey the Blind Panther. And you guys were talking about Derek Carr, bridge quarterback, and what Frank Reich was able to do with Phil Rivers. What in the hell makes you think Frank Reich is going to settle for another bridge quarterback, knowing that that's what got his ass fired from Indy? Because Chris Ballard, all he wanted were bridge quarterbacks. He thought he could make it work with retreads. What makes you think Frank Reich is going to go along with that? And I know he probably doesn't have I know he definitely doesn't have the control that Matt Rule had over the roster. Well, you know he's telling Scott Fitterer, if Scott Fitterer is telling him anything about getting Derek Carr, you know Frank Reich is telling that guy to eat shit. Because I don't think he wants a repeat of that. Matter of fact, I know he doesn't. Why would we do that to Frank Reich? You know, why would we do that? It's just a question. And I know not all of y'all want Carr, but I want to ask that to the people, you know, as a whole, to Panther Nation. Think about that. For those of y'all who say, oh, bridge quarterback, who for y'all who are insane and want to try the same shit and expect something different, think about that. Anyway, guys. Wow.
I think this is
my bad. I was muted. I said I disagree with Joey on that one. I think that Frank Reich would probably pretty big on the side of Derek Carr. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, man. Tony laughs at it, but dude, they both love the board, man.
First, I don't want to hear that. First, listen to this flip-floppity motherfucker over here.
Ain't nobody flip-flopping.
Anytime I said this. Lord, no, hold on. Go back and check the tape. I'm going to do that little progressive flag, challenge flag, or whatever they've been doing on those insurance commercials. Remember when I was all hype about Jim Caldwell? And it came up, not feeling this. Now you got Frank Reich and Jim Caldwell. I'm like, man, I'm all hope. And then I'd be like, oh, Derek Carr. Have I not been saying Derek Carr here for about a month now? Yeah. And not that I'm just dying for him, but I could see the fit. I could see a guy that could be better in a better situation, a team that could benefit from him. We would be improved with him. Somebody put in the chat is that Derek Carr on this team. Think about this is that we have arguably the best coach, and not arguably, I'd say the most proven coaching staff in the entire NFC South right now. The best coaching staff. We haven't seen them in action for the Carolina Panthers yet, but they're the most accomplished coaching staff in the entire division at this point. So there's like a little, like where I'm ready to put our staff against somebody else's staff. You put Derek Carr on this team, is that like you have to believe you're the odds-on favorite to win the division. You have to believe that. And so I could see it, but I just can firmly believe, as someone who has seemingly, I've kind of cooled to the Derek Carr idea just because of how much money it's going to cost. And I don't want it to string out longer than I want it to be. I'd rather pay this. Let me put it this way. I'd rather pay Derek Carr $30 million for 1 year than I would pay him $45 million over 2 years.
Agreed.
And then say this, Derek Carr this year, and that's it. We're drafting this like the next, there's another iteration after this season. Unless Derek Carr goes out there and wins 14 games with the Panthers. And then you're like, well, then we have a good problem. That's my feeling. Can we even afford $35 million on a quarterback for 1 year?
No. And I think
I don't even know if we're in the running for that.
But also remember Frank Reich's introductory press conference, he talked about the importance of mobility and what that means for a modern NFL offense. To me, it just
that's long term though.
Derek Carr doesn't. Not only does he not fit that bill, but you're also, you're limiting what we can do from a red zone perspective. I'm a firm believer that the quarterback runs needs to be a threat when you're in the red zone. Like I'm a believer of that.
In the long term build, yes. And like if we're designing a player and a team, but you don't get to design that every year.
Right.
Let me ask you this. I'm gonna start with CK. Okay. We'll go to Greg and we'll finish with Cody on this. What's more risky for Frank Reich? Getting another veteran quarterback like a Derek Carr. So and I'll start with CK on this because we said Brissett to who was it? To Wentz to now Ryan. Right? Or it was Wentz to Ryan. This would be the third. Right? A swing and a miss on that type of what's more risky, a swing and a miss on a veteran quarterback or him weathering the storm with a younger guy, and you might not have the best results in your first year. What's more risky for the way we look at Frank Reich in that first season?
I think it's way more risky to bet on a veteran guy and it's not work out again because then there's a pattern.
But is the floor higher?
The floor would be higher with a Derek Carr. But I think that a rookie not working out, or maybe not. That's something that he's going to have a lot more time with a rookie, right? We're going to give him a lot more forgiveness on drafting CJ Stroud and CJ Stroud just coming out and struggling a little bit, right?
Right. Do you think you start him from day one?
I don't know, honestly. I want to say yes, but there's been so much success for these quarterbacks sitting a year. That's just it's hard to ignore that. And you've even had Patrick Mahomes say that he wouldn't have been nearly as ready as he was if he hadn't sat for that year.
Who's the last one, CK, that has not sat and been successful? Burrow? Allen? Did Allen sat?
Herbert sort of
Trevor Lawrence.
No, Allen, Hooker, or Herbert didn't sit. They all played.
Hooker.
They played their rookie year, but they sat at the beginning.
Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence too. I throw him in there. I feel like he's been.
He's struggling.
Yeah, but the difference. But what Patrick Mahomes said was he would have taken a lot longer to develop.
Yeah. I'm actually saying this is like I don't know. I think Burrow did Allen start from day one? I don't believe that.
No, remember Nathan Peterman had won the starting job.
Okay, he played like 4 snaps, and then Josh Allen played the rest.
I'm just saying he didn't start
like his rookie year. Stat Daddy, look up how many games Josh Allen played his rookie year. But I would say this is Burrow is the most accomplished guy that started from day one in the league at this point. The next we could say, all right, is it Allen? Who is in the third? Herbert. Herbert's not even made they haven't made the playoffs yet, though, right?
Yeah, they have. They lost
to Trevor Lawrence.
They lost to Trevor Lawrence
with a 28-point lead. That's why I put Trevor Lawrence up there. And Allen started 11 starts in his rookie season.
Okay, so he basically started his. So is Burrow and Allen are the most accomplished, and then Herbert. Is there anybody else after that? Am I forgetting someone that?
Tyrod Taylor started one game for the Chargers, and then that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Then he got his
Herbert.
lung punctured.
We're probably going
Baker
back to
Mayfield?
Lock,
No, Baker didn't start.
Luck, and Cam maybe. Who else? That's a good question. Chat. Who are the starters that have had success? And it's not that you can't have success. I think Joe Burrow is the model. And interestingly, let's actually segue since we're speaking of Joe Burrow. Josh McCown, the new quarterbacks coach of the Carolina Panthers. And part of that name that's being assembled, or that group of names that people are excited about, I really like the Josh McCown name,
right?
Because of how seasoned he is as an actual player. So I think you get kind of what you guys like about Ken Dorsey. I think McCown is a cooler Ken Dorsey because he actually played longer in the NFL, even did more in the NFL, was more relevant as an actual player, has put more time in, and now he's a film guru. And he loves CJ Stroud. Guess who he says? And he doesn't, and he tempered this, so I don't want people going crazy and calling for his head. But we all try to make comps based on physical attributes, strengths, weaknesses. And he said the kind of comp for CJ Stroud was Joe Burrow. He loves CJ Stroud.
And I like that comparison. It's a good comparison too. I mean, at the high end, you're hoping Stroud is a Burrow. At the low end, you're hoping that he's like a Jared Goff type of prospect. Did y'all know my man McCown has hoops? Like, if y'all want, go look up Josh McCown playing basketball. Dude, he got some skills, bro.
Yeah.
That's
like
pretty
His
cool.
brother. Didn't he have a brother that played?
Yeah,
in the
Luke
NFL too?
McCown.
Luke.
Yeah, Josh and
Career
Luke
backups.
McCown. Yeah, but y'all need to find that video. If not, maybe I'll play it a little bit later. But my man got hoops. But I'll say this, man. I like his eye for the quarterback position. You know, I think that there were rumors last year that the Texans really wanted to hire him as their head coach. And that was a legit rumor that was making the rounds. A lot of inside people even reported it too. So I love it, man. You know, I think no matter what the Panthers are going to do, it helps to have guys like Frank Reich, like Josh McCown, who have played NFL quarterback. You know, they play quarterback in the NFL, and they know what it takes at that position. And I really like what that means for Matt Corral as a prospect going forward. And yeah, definitely if we ended up drafting a player in this year's draft, you have to like all the insights and the details that Josh McCown is going to be able to deliver to any quarterback in our quarterback room. I love it, man. Like I said, these coaching hires for the Panthers have been better than I ever expected that they could have gone at all.
There's this. I'm trying to find it just to show you if you go to Josh Norris's page, he just is so active. He is doing he's doing a lot of these with Josh McCown. He's been doing these. He's got one on Levis. So I'll go watch what he said about Levis. They're doing here. I'm getting close. But he, if you go and watch this breakdown with McCown, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? He's a film junkie. He loves CJ Stroud's tape. Loves it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I love that or not.
But the fact that he loves Stroud?
Yeah. Because now I'm kind of secretly like, oh, we could get
Crushing on
Stroud. We could get, yeah. It's like, oh, it's gonna, and then it's, you know, it's so far ahead.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think CJ Stroud's going to be the number 1 pick of the draft.
Remember when G Baby was calling into the cat call saying, "We need to fucking lose. We need to lose." Well, that's why he was saying it because now we're if you want to get ahead of the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are going to rake us over hot coals.
Are the Falcons ahead of us too? No, like there's like every team ahead of us theoretically could take a fucking quarterback in some.
Yeah, it's bad.
The Bears could trade back twice. This is the best thing I have heard. My favorite. If I was the GM of the Bears, I would trade back twice.
Yep.
I would trade from 1 to 4 and then 4 to 7 or some shit like that, and just have like have 5 first-round picks this year. Just take just have all this shit. You would just be the Bears. Boy, they could assemble an elite squad, and maybe I shouldn't burn. I was watching that Super Bowl. I was watching those teams, guys. The Eagles.
What were you thinking?
Are the team we should have been.
100%.
That should have been us.
That should have been us with Cam. Yeah.
Yeah, and like building.
That was the entire time.
Yeah, and like that, it's there. It was there. Look at that. The roster. They put together a fucking squad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How about the fact that their D line was one of the it was a historic defense.
70 sacks, bro.
And get 0 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they didn't get 1 in the Super Bowl. 0, 0.
Well, what are we saying about Hassan Reddick and that crew right now? Oh, is that like just basically they're the same, and then there's such a great team and a great season.
I mean, look, the Eagles played their ass off, man. Like they really don't have anything to feel bad about.
But they didn't get no sacks. How they not? Didn't they break his ankle again? Was that on a run though?
Yeah,
they were Jalen Hurts fumble away from winning that game. Sorry, I hate to put it all on one. I'm not putting it all on one person, but
let's go ahead and put it this way. No, I don't want to go there because the Chiefs got robbed of another defensive touchdown. By the way, that shit was a catch. Jericho Cotry is saying that Miles Sanders caught the ball and fumbled it. The Chiefs should have had 2 defensive touchdowns in that game. They called back that shit. No, that Miles Sanders joint was a catch.
He didn't make a football
move. He caught it. No, he caught it and he turned like he had it.
Yeah, but you have to take 2 steps to make a football
move. Who cares if you're standing still? That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing in that play. If you catch the ball and you have 2 feet in the end zone and then somebody somebody rocks you, we're gonna call it a catch. That was a catch.
If you drop it, they're not going to.
It was a catch, bro. He made a football-like move. This is what that told me, is that if you could catch the ball and then just stand completely still, like, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stand like a motherfucking statue. I catch this ball and somebody rocked me and I fumble it. And they'd be like, oh, you didn't make enough moves. Like, you could sit there for 3 seconds. He had control. It was a catch.
I hear you. It was very close.
All right, you guys tell me.
Close.
You guys tell me. What do you think?
You know who I think deserves a fair share of the blame? Oh boy, y'all ready for this?
Here it comes. I don't love this. This is
James Bradberry, baby. And
Fuck
you know
that.
what?
No.
Juju Smith-Schuster is getting a ton of shit.
Yeah, for AJ Brown. AJ Brown's got a great tweet to him.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Juju Smith-Schuster says, "Happy Valentine's Day, everybody," and it's got James Bradberry with a caption that says, "I'll hold you when it matters most." Wow. And dude, I know everybody's like,
"It's fucked up."
I laughed.
It wasn't a hold.
I mean, it was. He admitted to
just
it.
as much of a hold then that was a catch.
Bradberry admitted to it.
It was a hold. It was a hold, but the problem is 95% of those are not called in the NFL. 95% of what he did was not called. And that's just like the thing that sucks is that that makes no sense to call that right there. Like, let these guys play it out. Right? That had no impact on that play whatsoever.
Do you guys think that the Miles Sanders is less clear of a catch than Jericho Cotchery's?
I think Jericho Cotchery's seemed more clear as a catch than Miles Sanders.
Really?
The Jericho Cotchery one is burned in my memory. I'll barely even remember this fucking catch that we're talking about. Yeah, Cotchery was definitely more of a catch than Sanders.
The ball wasn't moving at
I don't
all,
give
man.
a fuck.
It
I don't
was
give
like
a shit.
this. Like, he could have been like
Man,
this,
who gives
but
a
he was
shit?
like this. Like,
Tony, it's
Cotchery,
let's
that's
forget
just
about
got
that.
lit up, bro. He just got lit
It
up.
wasn't
Tony.
more of a catch than Cotchery's ball.
Yeah, it wasn't because if you play that in real time, it was catch, hit, gone. Like, it was no time whatsoever. Like, there was zero. Like, they played in slow motion so much.
We're not gonna get
I got the poll in the chat right now. They're voting on it. Was it a catch or not? It's 50-50 right now.
It was not a catch.
Oh, it's dancing.
Who was more of a catch, really? Is Cotchery or
Cotchery?
I don't think so. I think the ball was. I'm not saying. Look,
that's
I
a
think
losing
Cotchery was.
argument right
I think
there,
both of
dude.
them were catches. No, actually, this is what I'm arguing. I think they're both catches.
I mean, Jalen Hurts still fumbled away a touchdown.
If he
And
got
he-
rocked
and he-
in the
and he
end zone,
damn
would
near
you
did
have
it
called it a
twice.
touchdown? If he would have done that in the end zone with 2 feet, would you have called it a catch? And then he got rocked and he fumbled it out the back.
You have to make a football move, man, whether you like it or not.
He
You have
did.
to make
He
a
looked
football
and
move.
turned and then got fucking wrecked.
Not enough.
I don't think turning is a football move. I think you have to, because look, you can look at it. He didn't switch. He
3
didn't
steps,
when he
right?
had the ball. You have to take a certain amount of steps, and you have to make a football move with the
You don't have
ball.
to take
He,
over.
he
You have to
never
have
brought
2
the ball
feet
to his
down. You don't wanna
body.
take steps.
He
There's
never
no
brought the
number
ball
of
to his
steps.
body
This
and
ain't
took the ball, man.
basketball.
Yeah, you
Not a
do,
football
but
move.
hey, man, take it up with the NFL committee.
Yeah.
You have to take like 2 or 3
Let's look
steps.
up. I want to look at these
for it
rules.
to be
No,
considered a
there's no
football move.
steps.
Yes,
There
it
is.
is. Then why
No,
didn't they
then
call
you
it a?
can't-
Then,
you
Look it
can't toe
then
tap
why
and-
didn't they
you
call it
can't
a
toe
fumble?
tap and fall out of the sidelines?
No,
and call
you
it
have
that.
to make a
No,
football
you don't have
move.
to take no steps. If
Yeah,
you're
you do.
catching the
What are you
ball out of
talking about?
bounds
Hold
and you
on.
have
I
2
got it.
toes down, you don't have to take no
I
steps.
got it right
You
here.
just have-
I got the rules.
Let's
The
hear it.
process of a catch. You have to secure the ball in their arms or hands. You have to keep both feet in bounds, and you have to make a football move, a movement that is common to the game, such as a tuck or extension of the ball or an evasion of an opponent.
He did all those things.
Not turning, looking up.
He did not.
He did not do
He
any of
took
those
the ball
things.
like this and went like this.
Do I need to pull the tape?
He went,
Because
yeah, I want to see it.
Because he didn't. Yeah.
Nah, I think
No,
so.
it ain't that point, and it's definitely not more of a catch than the Cotchery
No, I don't think so.
catch, man.
It is just as much of a catch as
Oh, it isn't.
Bradberry.
You're gonna die on this
As
hill.
a
alone,
Bradberry's
man.
was a hold. No, I'm telling you, that's a catch. That's
Wow,
2.
okay.
And here, think about this. That's the crazy part. Everybody gushed about the Eagles defense. But man, the Chiefs defense made plays.
But wait, can I give a hot
Yeah.
take? This is the reason why I was okay with getting rid of Bradberry. I've seen that happen too many times here in Carolina. Everybody wanted to tell me one of those Friday free-for-all last week or a few weeks ago. Oh, Bradberry's the man. We should have kept him over or whatever. Dude, there was a large contingent of Panther fans that were tired of seeing Bradberry get burned in very similar manners. The dude who has played on 3 NFL teams in the past 4 different years or something like that.
No.
He's not trash.
Yes.
No one's saying
Yeah.
that he's trash. But what I'm saying is like he's an average NFL corner.
He was an
Anybody-
all-pro this
anybody-
year.
He
Dude,
wasn't
I
all
don't give
pro
a
this year,
damn,
though.
man. I've seen him burn too
Oh,
many
stop.
times.
No, and you're gonna try
on
to talk
too many
me down.
teams.
You just said I don't give a damn. You didn't even hear the words that came out of CK's mouth, and you said
He
I
was
don't
an
give a damn.
all-pro on a loaded football team.
Exactly.
Okay,
Well,
right. So
then
he
Hassan
wasn't
Reddick.
the only
We
part of
shouldn't have
that.
kept
So
Hassan
was-
Reddick
so was-
either.
He
He
was-
was
I
just
saw-
an all-pro
right,
on a
so who
loaded
is more-
fucking
who is the-
football team.
Who's a better talent, Bradberry or J.C. Horn? J.C. Horn. Not even
Bradberry-
close.
Oh,
The number
Bradberry
7 overall pick.
a second round pick versus a 8th overall. That's not a fair comparison.
Everybody's
And
saying
here,
that's
no, you're sitting on Bradberry here. Actually, here's the way you should say it. It's okay to not love Bradberry. Bradberry is in a perfect place. He's besides Slay. He's a great number 2. He's a very good number 2. But here's where you're wrong about us and like, oh, we shouldn't have kept is you know what? I bet you we would be better with James Bradberry than if we kept Shaq Thompson.
Then Dante Jackson.
We kept Shaq Thompson over James Bradberry. Who would the team be better? Who would be easier to replace for this team? Would it be Shaq Thompson or James Bradberry? And neither of them are fantastic. But guess what? I would say Bradberry is better than
you just said neither of them were fantastic, and that's my only point.
We had a choice between two. No, we let Bradberry go.
Average corner. Everyone's trying to pretend like this. Everybody's trying to pretend like he's a shutdown corner.
You're not listening.
Has this nostalgia glasses on.
No,
who would
be better?
All right, Cody.
If he was that damn good, why has he played for 3 different teams now? Oh, but he's in the lead shutdown
because we signed Shaq Thompson.
He's only played for 2. He played for the
Giants and then the Panthers.
He played for the Raiders too for a little while.
No, he did. No, that was Worley.
Worley.
No, he signed a big deal with the Giants, and then he went to the Eagles. He hasn't played with 3 different teams.
He is a fantastic second corner. He isn't a number 1 corner, but he is a fantastic second corner. And why I say that and why that's important is, to Tony's point, our team would be infinitely better if he was on our squad as opposed to Dante Jackson
or CJ Henderson.
But you don't even have to think of it like that. You have to think about it as this. We had 2 options. We could have that year kept James Bradberry or Shaq Thompson. We had those.
We needed linebacker help more than we needed defensive back help.
We didn't have anybody then.
We got rid of Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, and then you're going to let go of Shaq Thompson. No, you have to pick Thompson over Bradberry.
Tell us who the corner was that year. Then tell us who was there other than Bradberry. He was our number 1 corner.
Can I ask you?
No, that's not even
fair. That's saying something because it's average. No, okay. How about this? They're on the same tier of player. Bradberry and Shaq Thompson.
Bradberry is a better player than Shaq Thompson.
Give me a fucking break.
Bradberry is a more accomplished player and better than Shaq Thompson.
Okay.
Cody, do you consider
Josh Norman
position? Do you consider Josh Norman to be elite? Cody?
He had 1 season of being elite, but that was about it.
Okay. I just want to say exactly because if you're going to put Josh Norman up there, Bradberry's actually had a better.
Oh, no. You have to have consistency.
Less years, more interceptions, more tackles, more forced fumbles.
But after we got rid of Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, you're not then going to go and get rid of Shaq Thompson. No, it doesn't do. And if he was the type of corner, if he was the type, no, he's fucking not.
Yeah,
better than Bradberry. Bradberry's a liability, and y'all just don't want to admit it.
Bradberry has made how many
Bradberry's been a liability for a while. He is a liability. And he was a liability in the Super Bowl. He was a liability in the Super Bowl, dude. What are you talking about?
He was not a liability.
They got the flag that literally gave them the penalty that helped
out of his mind.
Did you see the
out of his mind?
Did you see the actual penalty though, Cody?
Yeah,
no, he don't care.
Penalty on the planet.
It was ticky-tack, yeah.
Bradberry admitted to holding him, and he definitely held him. No, he admitted because he said that by the most technical version of the rule. He said,
I hope the referee wouldn't have called it. I was hoping the referee wouldn't have called it. He knew that he held.
Bro,
he knew that he
that
held.
Shit was less of a hold than Miles Sanders was.
His average. His average.
You know what? I don't even fuck about arguing with that. The fact that you are trying to inflate Shaq Thompson and chub him up right now, Bradberry is, first of all, a far more accomplished player than Shaq Thompson has ever been. He is a less. Of what?
People rally around Shaq Thompson. No one
Where?
rallies
Where?
around
When?
James
When?
Bradberry.
When has
Okay.
they rallied around him? You mean,
Shaq
when
Thompson
we
has
had Matt
been the
Rule when he was
voice
sending them
piece
out?
of our locker room.
Yeah, and how has this Panthers team been? Shitty.
We're not
you
better
feel
with
like, what if you're
Bradberry.
the leader of the
You're not
Titanic?
better with Bradberry. Bradberry's no kind of leader. Come on.
This team would have been better over the last 3 years if you had Bradberry than you had Shaq Thompson.
Can I show a picture of the hold?
Yeah, please.
Because I got a good one here, a good angle. Present.
We don't want to talk about the tired ass past Jeff Comfort. We just want Cody to not fucking say bizarre ass shit about Shaq Thompson.
There's the hold right there. You see
That's
that?
actually not the specific hold.
No,
everybody thought was the hold.
I think that the jersey pull.
Yeah, there was a jersey pull that happened.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
was also so slight. It might as well have been that too.
Yeah.
It was nothing. And the ball didn't even, man. Anyway, the idea is this: I'm not saying, look, I think Bradberry was a mistake, not a mistake by the Panthers, but Dave Gettleman really went against his own word when it came to all those guys. Bradberry, think of this: this guy came from Samford, whatever the fuck that is. And it was a second round pick out of a school that nobody ever had heard of.
Yeah.
And he started from day one. He has played every game since then. He has signed a big fucking deal with the Giants. And then he's gone on to kind of resurrect. He had a second run. At first, the Giants didn't like him. And then he was pretty good. He came back. And then now he's had this. He is more accomplished than Shaq Thompson. By far, the number's 252-228-50-98.
Average.
That's fine. Then that means that Shaq Thompson is below average.